So we have a clip that we wanted to show, but I thought, who better than you guys to tell us a little bit about what the series is about and how it works. And
Okay. Well, Lost Girl follows the story of Bo, which is the character that I play. And Bo grew up thinking that she was human and like your every girl. And when she became a teenager, she had, urges, sexual urges that went beyond normal teenage urges. And she discovers at the beginning of the series, in season 1, that she's not human, that she's actually a succubus and part of a whole Fae underworld that live and feed among humans. So, the adventure unfolds from there.
hijinks ensue.
Yes, exactly. And Bo gets to learn about, in one sense, it was a great relief for her to find out that, what she is. But at the same time, it opened the door to a lot of questions. And those questions get answered and challenged and answered and challenged throughout the season.
Wow, couldn't have said it better myself. Let's watch a quick clip,
Okay.
actually. Very special Christmas episode.
Yeah, rom-com feel. Oh, that clip stresses me out.
First of all, I gotta say, amazing, right? The amount of just technical, expertise in that. Let's just talk about that scene for a second, because I was watching that going, wow.
Yeah. It makes my heart race actually watching it, because she was really strong. But it was it was an amazing sequence to shoot. And she was this incredibly talented stunt woman, but it was challenging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, give us a little bit of your character and what do you do in the show?
I play Dr. Lauren Lewis, and what's interesting a little bit about her is that she's one of the few humans that work directly with the Fae. And I work in the beginning, Bo and Lauren meet up, and there's a few sparks, perhaps, maybe, and we have a bit of a triangle with another character on the show, Dyson, played by Crystal Reed. And I sort of help Bo control the urges scientifically. So she comes for periodic injections and the like. And so Lauren sort of, and she works with the Fae, and you never sort of learn, the season sort of opens with, you're not sure why she's working for the Fae and why there's a human doctor and not a Fae doctor. And so that storyline sort of unravels as the season does too.
It's a really interesting character, because you definitely wanted someone like that in this kind of show. It's like, as a viewer, you're like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah. There's a lot of questions around that character and why she's there and why she's so sort of indebted to that group, the Light Fae.
Yeah. But I think it seems like, and I think the show very nicely is able to get through a lot of that expositional, how it works, all the different types of Fae, in a very organic way.
Bo has all those questions. She just learned that she's not human, that she's a succubus, and about the Fae, and that they exist, So that sort of, those questions are asked by her and by the audience as well.
Yeah, you guys sort of have the same questions.
Yeah.
The audience and Bo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's always nice.
Yeah.
Trust me.
And something else I'll say about the show too, because Zoe just brought up the Light Fae, is that the other thing that Bo learns is that the Fae are divided amongst light and dark. And what that sets up in our show is this very interesting political system and divide. And that creates a lot of conflict on the show, and is just another really interesting thing about Lost Girl.
Yeah. That's absolutely right. Especially second season, it really does seem to kind of take off in that way.
Yes.
How did you get involved in the show?
Well, I'm Canadian, and I lived in Toronto for quite a few years. That's where our show shoots. And I live in Los Angeles now, and the script came my way, and I saw, female sex sci-fi babe. I thought, what? And she came running. And I came running. I said, that's for me. I think I actually came into the process a little late in the game, and I loved what I read because, Bo, she's a sexual creature. She's a sexual being. So right away I thought, okay, what's going on here? What is this about? But it was, what I loved is that it's Beau's greatest sense of shame grows into her greatest strength. And that's something that appealed to me, and I think is I think it appeals to young women watching the show. Our audience is so broad. I mean, we're in our second season in Canada. We're airing in the UK and Australia, and the people I meet that watch the show are such a broad audience. You know, we have different generations, and all the different kinds of people are really drawn to the show.
Guys, girls, young.
Yeah.
Like, it really seems to have hit, a good big group.
Yeah.
It's been lovely for us.
Yeah.
But that's what drew me to the show, was a strong female lead and female character who is scared a lot of the time, but can't be.
Right.
She has to figure it out, and she does.
That's
Not
great.
always, but for the most part, she does.
It also, and you get a little sense of, I mean, there's nothing like the prime pitch line, but you also do get a sense, there's a certain tongue-in-cheek quality, and with Lauren too, that there's like this, it doesn't take itself too seriously.
No,
It does
there's great humor in the show. I think that's one of my favorite things about the show, is that they have, along with some really intense moments, there's tons of fun and lots of that sort of, it's witty. And I think all of the female characters on the show are really interestingly written. Kenzie, played by the very talented Ksenia Solo, who can't be here.
Who was the fried bitch line?
Yeah, she's fantastic on the show, and what a great character,
Yeah.
She has a good time playing that character.
You can tell. I mean, it is, she gets all the great, I like
Yeah.
like, why does she get the great line?
Yeah. Well, but she does them, no one else can do better. She does a great job.
Yeah, we have some experience with that with Claudia on our show. Allison Scagliotti on Warehouse is the same way.
Yeah.
Like, she just has that zinger that you wish you had said. So, are you, and you're now doing now more episodes, right? You've got additional episodes you're shooting.
We did. We got back 9. So we're actually currently filming episode 15 of season 2. And we started airing season 2 in Canada as well. So it's...
That's right, we're airing and shooting.
Yeah, we're airing and shooting.
That's
That
right.
never happens.
Not often.
To us.
No.
But it's great.
Are you in that zone? It's funny because I was with Colin yesterday, and he said there's that point at which you suddenly start to get recognized, and you realize like something happens, you reach a threshold where people start to just stop you in the street. Are you at that point now?
Yeah, and it's great because people want to come up and tell you why they love the show. They don't just sort of say, "Are you that girl?" They say like, "Oh, my mom watches the show, and this is why she loves it," or "My brother watches it." And it's cool.
That's
It's
great.
funny those moments though, because it never occurs to me anyway that that's why someone might be looking at me. So I always have to go, what? Oh, right, sorry.
What do you want?
Yeah.
That's great. Well, wait till it airs on Sci-Fi. Then that's a whole
Yeah.
other level.
Yeah, I'm thrilled.
Yeah.
Totally thrilled.
Then you're in that little tram in the airport in Orlando, and people are stopping you in the tram. I was like, Colin, my God. He's like, I know, right? I was like, oh God, that's not me.
As long as they don't expect a succubus kiss, I'm okay.
I will inject people though,
Yeah.
randomly. happily.
She will.
Yeah.
She will.
Okay, and with that, let's throw it open to questions.
Okay, my question is actually from your fans on Twitter. Do
Oh.
you expect the Beau-Lauren relationship to be as popular as it was? As it is, rather.
You guys hear that? Do you expect the...
Lauren Beau. Oh, thank you. Did you expect the Lauren Beau relationship to be as popular as it is with the fans?
I certainly didn't. No, that came as a bit of a surprise. Yeah, it's been a great surprise too. Like what but no, I know that blew up a little bit, didn't it?
Yeah. I mean, for Zoe and I, it was really important, and we talked about it in the beginning, that this relationship be very real. This was a very, Beau is involved in the love triangle on the show, and we wanted this relationship to be a truthful relationship between these two women. I mean,
And to
one's
stand
human,
up
one's
next
not.
to-
Yeah, exactly. It has to rival the other love relationship, and it certainly does.
Yeah.
And the fan response has been
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two quick ones. One is, with the action, the supernatural, the humor, do you think the show in a sense fills a void that's been there since Buffy went off the air? Buffy the Vampire Slayer went off the air?
It certainly comes up like as a comparison for sure.
Yeah.
So I think perhaps for some people it might.
And I think the humor, it's funny because on the weekend I was watching reruns of Buffy all afternoon. But I think that the humor that existed on Buffy and how much the central characters cared about each other. That exists on Lost Girl too. I mean, these people and non-people really care for each other, and I think that that seems to be the biggest comparison I think that we get. So it's flattering.
Oh, it's a huge compliment, I think. Yeah, if people feel that way, for sure.
You said in the airport, people stopping and saying what they think of the show. What do they think of the show? What are they telling you?
Oh gosh, people love the sort of political system, like I talked about a little bit, that exists. They love to kind of get angry at one side or the other. You know, a lot of younger women love to see a character whose sexuality is a big part of who she is, but is really strong and empowered by that. So I mean, people talk about that a lot. People love Kenzie's one-liners, you know. It's really mixed, I have to be honest. It's really, really mixed. There's not something really specific.
It's a pretty passionate audience too. You know? They have very specific opinions and how they feel why storylines should go and characters should be developed in.
Yeah, they've taken ownership.
Yeah, which is great. Yeah.
I got one from Twitter as well here. We haven't heard much about the fey human aspect of Bo and Lauren's relationship since season 1. How do you think these dynamic factors affect the relationship itself and your portrayal of it?
The fey-human specific relationship?
Yes.
Well, it was really addressed in the first season. And it's a complicated relationship for that reason, for many reasons, but that.
Yeah, I mean, there was
primary
a
one.
fear of Lauren being injured originally.
Yeah.
By
I mean,
that.
Bo drains people to death is what she can do, which is not something she necessarily wants to do.
Necessarily.
Sometimes. But I don't know. I don't know really how to answer that.
Well, it kind of got, I mean, because Lauren is the scientist and the whole, part of their whole dynamic, the beginning of it is that she comes to Lauren for help. And because Bo's character hasn't picked a side, that's a little awkward because Lauren works for specifically the Light Fae. So I do begin to kind of help her out a little bit. And because I do, she becomes less of a worry that way.
Yeah,
For us
and
to-
Bo, I mean, is so grateful. Someone that can actually help her control these urges. Like, this is a new thing for her. So the way that it sort of plays out in season 1, I mean, I don't know. They've kind of dealt with that, I think, the fey human aspect of
They
it.
do in the first season.
Yeah,
And it's
and-
not really addressed again.
Yeah, it's not really addressed on a continuous basis.
I had a question from Facebook, from one of the Facebook followers, who wants to know, how do you prepare yourself to be a succubus? What kind of research do you go through? Or do you?
Well,
Do you really want to talk about what you did?
Yes, we do.
I can't talk about it, no. You know, in terms of research, it's the human side of Bo that is really sort of the heart of who she is. A succubus is who and what she is as well. In terms of getting ready to play, I actually knew what a succubus was, and some people asked me that question too, like, did you even know what that was? And I did, because I used to have these recurring nightmares, and had read about the incubus-succubus phenomenon. And so, in terms of playing that, I think you play the human side, if that makes any sense. In terms of the succubus, you know, the first episode we did where I had to do a succubus kiss, that guy got a lot of kissing and airtime because we really had to figure out what that kiss was going to look like, what draining someone's chi meant, and how that would play out. And we sort of came up with something that would then be the standard for the succubus kiss on the show. And now I've got it down, and people come on and like, okay, this is what it is, this is what you do. But in terms of playing a succubus, I think that you play the human side.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's put the day that guy had.
He had a lot of lip time.
A lot of people have quite the day.
I have one more question.
So, we've seen ghosts on TV, we've seen vampires, werewolves, and this is fairly new with succubus. So, what is it about these supernatural, paranormal creatures that it connects with audiences and makes something like Lost Girl popular? Why do you think that there is a need for it?
Well, I think it lends itself to the world of play that we all still sort of, the part of ourselves that likes to fantasize about sort of craziness and chaos and all of that. It's a whole different world that you can really lose yourself in. And so I don't know what it would be specifically for everyone, but I feel like that's probably part of the draw of being able to kind of imagine yourself in that world that's nothing like the one we live in.
Yeah,
To some degree.
and I think that, that supernatural world that Zoe's talking about, what appeals to the audience too is the central relationships between the characters. Like I said, they really care about each other. They're real relationships. It's real friendships. It's real heartbreak. It's real hurt. And then I just happen to fight a headless guy with a sword. And that's kind of part of our day. And we have to deal with that world as well. And I think it's such an imaginative and broad world, which is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Okay, well, thank you. They're going to be down here side of the stage for 10 minutes sort of to chat with you further, but thank you so much for being here.
Thank you
Excited
very
to
much.
have the show.
Thank you. We're very excited.